I'm rating all of the managers that's played under BlueCo and how well they've done. Now, as you guys know, Rosenior is now the current manager of Chelsea Football Club. And before I start, like, comment, share, subscribe, and thank you for doing so. Now, let's first start off with a manager that might surprise you. They probably think, wasn't a part of the BlueCo era. Is Thomas Tuchel. He was the first manager and the first, you could say, scapegoat, the first sacrificial lamb. But basically, he was the first manager to get sacked, and it was really because of the BlueCo regime. And at the time, he was, I think, in 6th, and he was about a few points off. And what happened was he recently lost to Dynamo Zagreb, I think it was, 1-0, and after that he was sacked. And one of the main things was at the time, he was backed heavily, and he got all his players that he wanted for his system. Most notably was Aubameyang. Aubameyang even said, something to the effect of, Chelsea, London is blue, which, is true, stating a fact. And Thomas Tuchel wasn't sacked, and he didn't last long under BlueCo. I mean, what he lost did, if I'm assuming right, that BlueCo took over in, let's say, that August transfer window. He played 6-8 Premier League matches and Champions League. I don't know if you can rate him, but I'm just gonna say he did a 7 or 8, because that season was the season where we were gonna go and win the Premier League. Generally, I think we would have. And yeah, I'm gonna give that a 6 out of 10. The next manager was Graham Potter. So Tuchel got sacked and Graham Potter came in. And fun fact, if it wasn't for Graham Potter, it would have been Luis Enrique. He was someone who was considered for the job, but Chelsea, under BlueCo, rejected him. And Enrique came with the whole presentation. I even made a video on it on my channel, you should check it out. So one of my first videos. And he came with a presentation with all the players and what he's going to do with them, but Chelsea said no. So when Graham Potter comes in, and he's going to try to steady the ship. And what he's trying to do is he's basically told to play the way he plays, and they liked what he did at Brighton, and just keep doing what he did at Brighton. And so he started, and he had an awful run throughout. And the thing that annoyed Chelsea fans most about Potter was his mentality. He was like, okay guys, you played well, but we just didn't get the result. It was something like that. And he wasn't liked much by Chelsea fans. But I feel like, looking at how he is right now, we should have gave him, at least 2-3 years. Maybe he could have done something great. I genuinely feel like that. Because he didn't have enough time. He literally had, till from September, October, all the way to about March. And at the time, Chelsea were mid-table. So obviously results weren't great. But you can't entirely blame him. But I'm going to give his reign a 3 out of 10. Because it's not his fault, but they were really bad. Chelsea were really bad. Next came, you could say, interim manager, Frank Lampard. He came into the end of the season, and he just basically was there to for PR, to get everyone happy, to make them positive, basically something like that. And Lampard came in, and nothing much changed. We played Atletico Madrid in the Champions League. We lost to them, and it was just meh, And that was basically the end of the season. And he didn't do much. He didn't do good. He didn't do too awful. But I'm going to give it the same as Potter, a 3 out of 10. And I don't think, we're not going to be talking about it 50 years down the line. Maybe that season we will, but not Lampard's bill. Anyways, the next manager who came in was actually Mauricio Pochettino. Now, when Pochettino came in, I was quite optimistic. I was like, this guy, he did great things with Spurs. I was Spurs. And I feel like, eventually he will go and win trophy for Chelsea. And he knows how to get young players to perform. He'll do great with number 10, and he did with Cole Palmer. He was the one who signed Cole Palmer, or that was the board. And an excellent decision. He made Nicholas Jackson great. And overall, his tenure was actually quite underrated. And I'll tell you why. People said he wasn't that good, he wasn't qualified for Chelsea. I kind of get that. But what he did in his short time was actually just as impressive as what Maresca did. People are going to call that crazy, but hear me out. He came into a Chelsea team that were mid-table, that were like dysfunctional. They just weren't anywhere, and he got those new players who were under 23, under 21. Got the likes of Cole Palmer, Nicholas Jackson, Madueke. I think Melo Gusto under Pochettino was so damn good, and did we have Thiago Silva at the time? Actually, I'm not sure. Yeah, we did. And in that time, he got us a top 5 or top 4 finish. I forgot now. I think top 5 finish. From 12th to 5th is absolutely insane. And on top of that, he got us to an FA Cup semi-final. He got us to the Carabao Cup final, which we did go on to lose. And if you think about it, he did an insane job. Because we were literally in a transition. And we had a chance of becoming like a mid-table team. There's a guy on YouTube, Nathan Connor, he called us mid-table randoms. But I think Pochettino did incredible that season. He got Jackson firing, he got Cole Palmer great. The one thing he didn't do was Enzo and Caicedo. He didn't make that perfect. I wish we would have kept him, and I feel like we would have been in a better position probably. But still, we're happy. He got us, FA Cup semi-final, Carabao Cup final. Actually, no, now I remember, he got us Conference League qualification, which still is pretty good. And overall, I'm going to give his tenure actually a 7 out of 10. Not because of what he did really on the pitch, but he laid the foundations for Maresca. He walked so Maresca could run. That's what I feel like he did. Next up is Enzo Maresca. Now, Enzo Maresca, I love him so much, and he did incredible. He saw where Chelsea were, and he elevated them. And he got Chelsea in his first season a 4th place finish. On top of that, he won the Conference League, and most importantly, he did go on to win the Club World Cup, which was an absolute underdog story in the final. He beat the Champions League winners 3-0. He stopped Luis Enrique winning the 6 trophies one season. It's called the Sextuple, and overall a great manager and a great side. And one thing that we did not like about him at Chelsea was he had runs of bad forms now and again, which wasn't too good, and his football at times could have been called boring, but still I liked him. He was a great manager. He improved Robert Sanchez quite a lot. That was the goalkeeping coach. He solidified our defence, and he really made Reece James, he really took care of him and got him much better. And I feel like for that reason, I'm going to give Maresca a 10 out of 10. And if he was under Roman, he would have get 10 out of 10, but this is under BlueCo. He'll definitely get 10 out of 10. He won the Club World Cup. We were literally world champions. We are right now. And he won the Conference League. He got us a top 4 finish. Very happy with him. Then he did get sacked 4-6 months later. I'm very sad about him. But in that time, we were still like 4th place. I think we're 5th now. Obviously, right now, as of recording, I think we're 8th place or 7th place. We're only 2 points off the top 4. It's not that bad. Yeah. Now, the next manager is Rosenior. I'm somewhat a little bit optimistic. I will back him, Rosenior. I think he will do great with the back 3. I think he's going to do great. And, you can't really rate him. But I'm going to say, as of right now, I'm going to say he has a 2 out of 10 right now. 2 out of 10 right now. But in the future, I think he'll have a solid 8 out of 10 if he's allowed 2 years. If he's allowed 1 year, I'll give him a 6 out of 10. But obviously, we don't know. But I'm quite optimistic with him. He wants to play high-tempo football, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, I hope good times are ahead. So what do you guys think? Could you like, comment, share, subscribe? And thank you for watching.